By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the difference between head voice and falsetto, but you'll also know when to use each one and how to improve them. So let's begin with head voice. Head voice is a vocal register where your vocal cords are still coming together. We call this the chord closure, but they are stretched thinner as you go higher. So when you are in your chest voice like this, right? Hey, it doesn't stretch. But when you begin to go up like this is head voice. I'm singing with head voice. Did you hear that? It thins out. So the vocal cords is like stretched this way, but they still make connection. And that is what we call chord closure.
If you can talk, you can sing. There is really nothing to it.
Breathe in, breathe out, add a little vibrato. You said anyone can sing, but you gotta be consistent.
Know your do re mi is just like 1, 2, 3.
You will be the best and you will sing so well. It's time to sing with Frank at TBL.
Hello everyone, you're welcome to today's video. Now let's get straight to the point. There's one thing that actually confuses singers a lot. They mix it up or they don't really know the difference. And that's the difference between head voice and falsetto. What is the real difference between these two? Now listening to both, I can actually understand why singers confuse both of them. But after watching this video today, you would know the difference between falsetto and head voice. Have you ever heard someone hit a super high note and you thought, wow, that's falsetto? But then someone else says, no, that's head voice. I mean, what do they mean? What's the difference between falsetto and head voice? Okay. Yeah, confusing, right? Now today we're gonna clear this up once and for all. What head voice actually is and what falsetto really is, and how you can tell the difference and use both like a pro. So before we go any further, before you can actually understand the difference between falsetto and head voice, it would be great for you to understand how the voice works and how both voices are produced by your mechanisms, the mechanisms inside your body. So air goes into your lungs, right? And when the air comes out of your lungs through your windpipe, yeah, it causes your vocal cords, which are two muscles, to vibrate, and that's it. Sound is produced by vibration. When two objects come together like this, you get sound. If they don't come together, you won't get any sound. Okay, so when the air comes out of your lungs through your windpipe, it causes the vocal cords to go like this. Yeah, and it's actually really fast. And one register you can actually hear it is the vocal fry. When your voice is really low, when you hit really low notes like and that actually reveals something to you, which is the lower the pitch, the slower the vibration in here. But the higher the pitch, the faster the vibration. And this can be demonstrated by going up, sliding up from the vocal fry. So let's try it. Till all you can hear is one smooth note. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the difference between head voice and falsetto, but you'll also know when to use each one and how to improve them. So let's begin with head voice. Head voice is a vocal register where your vocal cords are still coming together. We call this the chord closure, but they are stretched thinner as you go higher. So when you are in your chest voice like this, right? Hey, it doesn't stretch. But when you begin to go up like this is head voice. I'm singing with head voice. Did you hear that? It thins out. So the vocal cords is like stretched this way, but they still make connection. And that is what we call chord closure. Because like I said, when two objects meet together like this, yeah, you hear it sound like you can hear me clapping right now. So the head voice is a sound produced still by chord closure. The chest voice is also produced by chord closure, but the difference between chest voice and head voice is the stretching of the vocal cords. All right? And when you sing in head voice, the sound resonates more in your head as opposed to the chest voice, which resonates more in your chest area. Hence, that's where you get the name from, head voice. But it is still a connected, controlled tone. This is head voice. I'm singing with head voice. So think of it like this. Head voice is strong, it's clear, and it is supported. Supported, yeah. The kind of support you still get from your chest voice. So the support is coming from your diaphragm, not from your neck. And you soon understand the difference between falsetto and head voice. The head voice gets the full support of the diaphragm. It has a chord closure and you can do a lot with it. With head voice, you can crescendo. This. Did you see that? Because it's connected. A connected sound is a sound you can also control. So it is strong, hence you can control it. You can sing vibrato on the head voice. It's clear, just like you heard, and is supported. So remember that, okay? Because it's very vital when we begin to explain the falsetto. So the head voice is not your chest voice, but it's not airy either. And this is where the big difference between head voice and falsetto begins to come in. The falsetto voice is much airier than the head voice. We know to produce sound, air has to come out, right? Air has to escape the vocal cord to come out of your mouth. But with falsetto, you have more release of air. Okay, so I'm gonna sing from the chest voice into head voice. Now listen to this. Did you hear that? I started from chest voice. The next one changed into head voice. So high chest voice. And then I crossed into the head voice. Did you hear where it changed? Okay, let's do it one more time. So both tones are connected, but one switched from chest voice into head voice. And as you must have noticed, there was no breathiness. In fact, let me slide with a nice legato from the chest voice into head voice. Listen again, no breathiness. Did you hear that? So that's what technique is all about as well. Slight release of air. That's a smooth transition. That's head voice at the top. And now we come to falsetto. So what is falsetto? Now, falsetto happens when your vocal cords don't fully come together. And again, I'll demonstrate this with my hands. Okay, remember in head voice, we have a full sound. When two objects make complete contact, you get a fuller sound, a rich sound. But on the contrary, listen to this. You see that? Out of these two ways I clapped, which one do you think is gonna release more air? Of course, the falsetto. Imagine if something is closed, nothing passes through, no air, only when it opens. But if something keeps going like this, barely touching each other, air comes out continually. So air leaks out so much more in falsetto than in head voice. And that's why falsetto sounds breathier, it sounds lighter, and sometimes weaker or more flute-like. Let's do another quick demo. Maybe we go, oh, did you hear that? Oh, did you hear the, oh, did you hear that? So much air at the top, not the, oh, oh. That last note, notice it. There's a lot more air. This is falsetto. It is breathier because you can hear the. Listen to head voice. Listen to falsetto. Did you hear that? Also, it's very light. Think about a feather. As light as a feather. Head voice. Heavier, right? Again, falsetto, head voice. Did you hear the difference? Now remember, with the head voice, I was able to vary the volume. I could do a crescendo, for instance, like. But with the falsetto, it's really difficult to do that because you have all this air coming out and there's barely any control of the sound. Imagine 80% air coming out and just 20% sound. You can't really do much with that sound. It's not really controllable. All you could do with the sound is try to hit the right pitch, the right note. But apart from that, you can't really do vibrato with falsetto. You can't really do crescendo and so many other nice stuff you can do with other connected chord closure sounds. So let's look at some key differences. So the first one is chord closure, like I already mentioned. So head voice is fully connected. The vocal cords are fully connected, just like this. Imagine this is head voice. But in falsetto, the vocal cords are partially open, like this. Sometimes, no, it doesn't even touch. And again, remember, sound is produced by two objects making contact. So if it doesn't touch, you're getting barely any sound. I can feel the breeze, I can feel the air, and barely any sound. Now, in terms of sound quality, head voice is strong, clear, and ringing. In falsetto, is breathier, is softer, and airy. Did you hear that? Now, let's talk about control and power. With head voice, there's more control and more dynamic range. Like I told you, you can go louder. Loud, soft. Loud, soft. But in falsetto, there's less power and less dynamic. You can't even go loud with falsetto. It's almost like we've said a lot of negative things about falsetto, but don't get me wrong, falsetto could be used stylistically. It is a good sound. It is one of the vocal registers we have, but you have to use this stylistically, okay? For instance, I always like to demonstrate it like this. I love, you see, the love up there. I love, did you hear that? I'm sure you've heard singers sing this way. They sing with a full voice and all of a sudden they disconnect, and that's the style. It's called disconnection. They disconnect from chest voice into falsetto. That's what they actually do. Now with head voice, you can belt high notes with it. You can sound emotional when you're singing, and it's a power vocal. But with falsetto, you use it more like a stylistic effect. It's really soft. It has a soft texture to it. Now I'm gonna tell you why people confuse both of them. They can sound similar, especially to untrained ears. You really have to have good ears to tell the difference. But I'm sure even if you don't have good ears, you should be able to tell by the amount of air each one produces. Like I said, head voice releases or leaks little air when compared to the falsetto. The falsetto releases a lot more air. At least you can tell that difference. So you can start with that. Use the amount of air being released to differentiate both. Both in terms of tone could sound so similar. And also different teachers define them differently. Some even use the terms interchangeably. When they mean to say head voice, they say falsetto. When they mean to say falsetto, they call it head voice. And this makes things even more confusing. But technically speaking, the biggest difference comes down to one thing. Are the vocal cords fully closing or not? So when we talk about which one should you use, here's the answer. Great singers don't choose one. They learn how to control both of them. Like I demonstrated already, I can use falsetto in some areas in the song, just use them sparingly, but stylistically, like I told you, falsetto is used stylistically for effect. And then head voice in some areas as well. So good singers learn to use both of them. So use head voice when you want strength, clarity, and emotional intensity, and then use falsetto when you want softness, airiness, or a stylistic or intimate sound. The wow factor happens when you can switch between them effortlessly. Now let's do a quick exercise, okay? Pick a comfortable high note. I'm gonna pick oh, or actually, let's use ooh, because ooh is a really head voice friendly sound. Ooh. Sing it with a clear, strong tone. And when you do that, that's your head voice. So you go ooh. Now, sing the same tone, but let it go breathy, okay? Ooh. Ooh. In fact, ooh. I feel so much air. Ooh. Put your hand in front of your mouth. You are gonna feel so much air, and if there's a candle light in front of me, I'm sure the lights will go off. Now what you're gonna do is go back and forth between the two. So you go ooh, barely any air. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, that's the difference. Now this builds awareness and control, which is foundation of good singing. So now let's begin to round up. We have head voice versus falsetto. I'm sure now you know the difference. If this helped you, hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section. Also, let me know which one you struggle with more. Is it head voice or is it falsetto? And that is it from me. I'm gonna see you in the next video. Remember to keep practicing, okay? You get better and better with practice. And as you practice, eventually it becomes second nature to you. Now, before I finally go, there is a join button below this video. Click it and automatically you'll become a special member. Choose from the 3 levels, anyone you want to, okay? And I think there's a video there to explain more about it, but it makes you a special member of this channel. I love you all. Thank you so much for your support, and see you again soon. Bye.
If you can talk, you can sing. There is really nothing to it.
Breathe in, breathe out, add a little vibrato. Yes, anyone can sing, but you gotta be consistent.
Know your do, re, mi, voice, just like 1, 2, 3.
You will be the best and you will sing so well. It's time to sing with Frank and T.